What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my review on The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 16. That's the Season 7 finale, titled The First Day of the Rest of Our Lives. Alright, let's get into it. Honestly, didn't care for the episode. I'm going to try not to go on a rant. I'm going to try not to berate you with all the negative things I felt about this episode. I'm going to do a rant video probably right after this one while these things are fresh in my head. I probably should have did that video first and got all that stuff out. I'm going to try and just give you my normal review and give you my basic opinion of what went on in the show. All right? Alright, to start off, you guys know I'm a huge fan of the show. Obviously, I do videos, I collect toys, I talk about this shit nonstop. Anyone who knows me will tell you that. I'm someone who defended the slow season, hardcore. I was like, yes, the first episode was amazing, and I know these episodes are slow, but there's good material in them, there's good character growth in them, and it's gonna pay off in the finale and next season. That's what I was saying. Do I still believe a lot of that? Absolutely. Do I go back on what I said? Absolutely not. Oh, well, about the finale, maybe. But that's it. And maybe about the way that they handled the season, but I'll get into that. Okay. I'm going to do a full season review, too, probably today, on all of Season 7. So we'll talk about the season as a whole in that video. All right, so this episode. Was it terrible? No. Was it bad? No. Was it great? Absolutely not. Was it good? It was kind of just okay. A lot of their ideas and a lot of the things that they did to flesh out the story, to play it out and everything were fine. The way they went about a lot of this stuff was really, really lazy writing to me. There was some stuff that didn't make sense. There was some stuff that was like network television where I almost felt like I was watching an NBC or at Fox or CW. That's how this episode felt to me from beginning to end. And I think there are changes happening in The Walking Dead that are not for the good. I'm going to do a video about that today too. That'll probably be a part of my rant video. But I really felt like they made a lot of mistakes, and they were so small, silly mistakes. All right, you know what it felt like to me? The episode was rushed. It felt like the actual episode felt rushed. Everything about it, from the writing to the dialogue to what actually happens in the episode. I know that's the same as the writing. All felt like it was lazily and hastily done. And maybe they did do changes. I know they swear up and down there was no changes because of any backlash, but maybe they did rush to do some changes in the finale because it felt like a mess. And The Walking Dead to me never feels like a mess. Even when the episodes aren't that good, they don't feel cobbled together, I guess you would say. They don't feel just like pieced together strangely. Even when they do artistic episodes, they don't feel weird like this one did. And not just that it was weird. I don't mind weird TV or weird movies. I gave Legion a super positive review. Go watch that show. That's weird as shit. So it's not weird that's my problem. It's the network, the safe approach to storytelling that really, really unnerves me. And it happened with this episode bad. So before I get into that, let's talk about what I liked. The performances on point as always. Even when the Walking Dead stars are given subpar or just dialogue or writing, they nail it. They still give you character depth. They still make you believe what they're saying. They still suck you into the story, even if you're like, that was a corny line, or I don't think that was the right way to take the story, or that seemed corny, whatever. They still managed to pull it off. So performances, kudos to all of the actors. Always terrific job. Okay? For the most part, the writing, like I said, what was happening in the episode, I was on board with. But the connecting A to B and then B to C and then C to D was all off to me. There was no straight lines. It was all crooked, weird, wavy lines that shouldn't have existed. Okay? Was this the most exciting episode of the year? No. The last 20 minutes were. The whole episode should have been, but it really wasn't. I think I was more excited on some of the Kingdom stuff and some of the Negan, the Sanctuary stuff than I was with this. I don't know. But we got some action. The story had the conclusion that I kind of expected to happen. Maybe not everything, all in a line, but, the Rick to finally say, here's my balls, why don't you put them in your mouth? Like, that's what I thought it was going to end with Rick basically telling it to Negan, and Negan being like, oh shit, this guy's not a little bitch. And they did that. And they did it effectively. That scene was great, where Negan and Carl were lined up, and Negan was talking to Rick, and Rick is telling them the business, and then Negan gets ready to kill Carl. Awesome. I loved Shiva. Thought she looked great. I loved some of the comic book moments they pulled out. The stuff with Michonne, I liked some of that. I'll get to that in the complaints. It's like the Ezekiel, Maggie coming in. I liked some of that. The fighting, I liked some of it, but it wasn't all there where it should have been. That's really it for what I liked, and that's pretty bad. Cinematography was good. That stuff is always good. The behind-the-scenes stuff, the way they edit it. I liked how they went back and forth with Sasha. I feel like it was a little redundant. You already did that last season, so you didn't need to do it that way. They could have found a better, more creative way to do it, I think, than doing it the way they did it. It just, once again, it seemed like the lazy way to make it artistic instead of like it was with season 6 with the bag over the head and all that. And I don't know. It didn't work for me the way it was edited and cut together. Okay, that's my first complaint. So the writing felt so lazy and it felt rushed this episode, where we had a whole season of build-up and dialogue and character development and character growth and story movement. We had a whole season of that with little to no action. This episode should have been back to front, action to action. This episode should have been the Battle of the Bastards episode of The Walking Dead. Where it should have been all about this confrontation and not all the little bullshit other shit that happened. It shouldn't have been in there. You'll say, well, gee, how do you do an episode full of action? There's a bunch of ways. Look at war movies where they depict war, real life war. There's moments of silence. There's moments of conversation. There's moments of being able to talk and stop and think. And then, yes, there's moments of chaos. And that's what it should have been. Moments of calm in the midst of chaos. And it wasn't that. It was just sporadic, random chaos that you couldn't make heads or tail of. Nobody really got hurt or died. All right, Rosita gets shot. A couple of saviors die. That's it. That I noticed. And I watched the episode twice. So it just felt like, oh, we need to have an action scene here. Let's throw one together real quick. Like it wasn't even scripted. I have a bunch of these writing complaints, so I'm just going to go on them for a minute. The whole thing with the way the junkyard turned. Okay, if that's the way you wanted to go with the story, I'm fine with that. That's cool. I figured they weren't to be trusted. Didn't think they were working with the Saviors. But okay, if that's the way you wanted to go, fine. The way they pull their guns and they don't make anybody drop their guns. Everyone's still holding their guns. There's no tension. There's no shooting. It's just like, oh, we got caught. Like I said, it's network TV. That's not the way The Walking Dead should have played this out. Not with these characters. Not with this situation and this storyline. No way. It doesn't work at all. Jadis holding the gun on Rick and Rick not doing anything, where this is supposed to be balls out Rick. This is supposed to be Rick that doesn't give a fuck anymore. I know he was caught out off guard out there. I know she had a gun to his head. But so what? We've seen Rick get out of worse situations. And he just stands there and lets her put the gun to his head and she fucking shoots him. He doesn't try to tackle her. Nothing. Out of character. None of that episode, nobody felt in character. It felt like all the character was devoted to Sasha and a little bit to Negan. And everybody else kind of wasn't who they were. Daryl was in the scene with Dwight, but that's it. I don't know. I can go on and on about this. I didn't want to make this a rant video, and I'm going to do a rant. Going through all my complaints. I got a whole bunch more. But no, that this episode was done poorly. It should have been an action-packed episode, beginning to end. It should have been a satisfying finale to what we saw before it. before it. And like I said, this all leads to me thinking that there are big negative changes happening in The Walking Dead that have already started as of season 7, episode 2. But like I said, I will get into that in another video. Honestly, out of 5, oh man, I give this episode a 2.5. I didn't like the way it was handled. The writing felt cheap and cheesy, or lazy, or rushed, and nothing played out in an original or an organic way. It all felt forced. Ezekiel and Maggie showing up at the exact same time. It felt, when Shiva jumped out, I'm like, yes! And then the way Ezekiel comes in, corn dick. I understand, oh, that's his character. But the way it was shot, the way it happened, the timing of it all was terrible. Terrible. And then the camera pans over and there's Maggie running in with the farmers. Terrible. And I thought Ezekiel was supposed to have a big army for them. He comes with like fucking 7 people or 6 people or something, and 2 of them are Carol and Morgan. I didn't like how they set up Morgan to start being a little bit unhinged, and then now he just joins again. Terrible writing to me. Stuff with Eugene was great. Loved how fucking Rick was like, blow it up. And I loved how acting with Rosita, how she wanted to but didn't want to. And, oh, great stuff, man. But most of the episode just fell flat to me. And I want to give it at least a 3 or 3.5, but I can't find it in my heart to give it more than a 2.5. And I'm a die-hard. I'm usually telling you guys to go a half a point less because I'm so die-hard. But honestly, here I'll say, if you're super die-hard and you didn't see the problems with that episode, then maybe it deserves a 3. But I don't see it deserving more than that, especially in context of the whole season. Like I said, I'm going to do a full season review. So, alright, that's it for this video. I'm going to cut it short. I'm so disappointed. I'm so unhappy. I'm sorry I hyped it up so much because I really had faith in them and thought they were going to do things the right way in the finale. And they just didn't. If you disagree with me, sound off down below. You agree with me, sound off down below. Let me know what you think. I'm going to do a couple of videos regarding this, about what I didn't like, what I think went wrong, and what I think is going on. So, I know this wasn't a great review. It was really me all upset, angry, and being negative, which I'm usually not when it comes to The Walking Dead. But I felt it necessary, and the next videos are only going to be more negative. But, I still have high hopes for Season 8. I still hoping for great things. Season 7 was the worst season, but with one of the best episodes, go figure. But, who knows, man. It could have just been for this season with what they had to deal with, what they were working with, what was going on behind the scenes that made it play out the way it did. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm still excited for Season 8. Oh, everybody's down. Man down. Abraham, Rick, both of them down. It would have been crazy if Glenn and Abe fell, right? Alright, so that's it for this vid. I know I've been rambling on far too long. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know how you feel down below. And keep a lookout for the upcoming videos, all on The Walking Dead Season 7, where we're really going to get into the nitty-gritty of what's going on with the show and why maybe the quality seems to be falling. All right, that's it. I mean it this time. You guys have a good day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.